intention, karma, and causality.
Welcome. Today, we're going to take a deep dive. We have a fascinating Q&A record in front of us about how Buddhism views the concepts of cause and condition and karmic retribution. The power of the mind at the end of life. Have probably heard the saying, even if you've done some bad things in the past, if your mind is focused on the Buddha at the very last moment, you have a chance to be reborn in a good place. This is a really intriguing point. It highlights the importance of the mind as a source of power. According to this record, the mind is the root of everything. So, theoretically, if a person can concentrate and focus intensely on the Buddha at the moment of death, that single thought's power can indeed lead them to a good place. However, as ideal as that sounds, the record also suggests it's not so easy in reality. The key issue is that most people's minds are constantly drifting and unstable, what's called 性识无定. They are easily pulled by the forces of past karma, long-standing habits, and mental afflictions. The record uses a very apt analogy. It's like a gambling table. Where will your final thought land? The variables are immense. Unless you regularly practice and have mastered the skill of calming your mind, it's very difficult to control your own destiny at that critical moment. Why don't we remember past lives? This naturally leads to the next question. Many people wonder, if our actions truly have consequences, why don't we remember what we did in our past lives? Wouldn't it be better if we did? We could learn from our mistakes and avoid repeating them. Otherwise, it feels like life is just on an endless loop. This is an excellent question. The explanation from this record is that we continuously create karma in the cycle of reincarnation because our sixth sense faculties, like our eyes and ears, are constantly interacting with the external environment, the sixth sense objects. This interaction causes our minds to generate reactions like liking and disliking, which are the afflictions. A big part of the problem is that we often don't truly understand the severe consequences of certain actions, like the 10 evil deeds. We tend to act based on emotion and habit rather than genuine wisdom. The record uses another fitting analogy. We can't even recall the names of most of our elementary school classmates, let alone what we did in a past life. While our everyday conscious mind, the sixth consciousness, may forget, the record points out that at a much deeper level, in the eighth consciousness, the seeds of our past actions are always present. When the right conditions ripen, the karmic fruit will manifest. But there's also a silver lining. Here, through learning the wisdom of the Dharma and continuous practice, it's possible to transform that wisdom into an inner power. The record mentions revered figures like Raputra and Anuruddha, who, through their spiritual cultivation, were able to begin shaping the direction of their own lives. So, even though we may have forgotten, the impact remains, and we have the power to change things through learning and practice. The precise timing of encounters. This brings me to a final point that people are often curious about. Timing. Why? Is it that we always seem to meet a certain important person, such as a spiritual mentor, a teacher, or get a specific opportunity at a particular, seemingly just right time? Is there really such a thing as perfect timing? On this topic, the record's view is very clear. It is entirely a matter of cause and condition. The fact that people meet can be seen as the result of the cause you planted in the past, combined with the ripening conditions in the present. Your past actions and their results have a certain order to them. So, the time at which they ripen and manifest will naturally vary. So, meeting a good teacher or a good friend is a type of karmic connection. However, how much you believe and accept, and how much you are willing to act on that connection, depends on how deep the karmic bond between you and that person was in the past. In this sense, nothing happens by chance. According to this record, the law of cause and effect is extremely precise and flawless. The exact kind and amount of cause you've planted in the past will, when conditions are right, yield a corresponding result. No more, no less. What we've discussed today truly ties together several important concepts. Our state of mind, especially at critical moments, the imprints of our past actions that continue to operate even though we've forgotten them, and the precise timing of various people and events that appear in our lives. All of it seems to be governed by this singular law of cause and effect. It's true that we can't directly recall what we've done in the past, but their influence follows us like a shadow. However, The record also points to another possibility. By understanding how this law of cause and effect works, and learning to use wisdom to act, you are no longer just a passive recipient of past results. Instead, you can begin to actively and consciously create a future that you hope for. This, perhaps, is the key to moving from simply recognizing your fate to beginning to master the direction of your own life.